This man was just about to eat breakfast when a steel cable suddenly shot through his chest. The next second, he was brutally dragged away by the killer. But the next day, in the same position, the killer was shot through by the steel cable, and that dead man had actually come back to life. And before this, he had already died a total of 138 times, experiencing a new way of death every day, because he was trapped in a time loop. After each death, he would wake up again on the same morning, and immediately face endless assassination attempts, no matter where he hid. He could never survive past 12:47 p.m., so he simply gave up resisting, spending his days hanging out in bars killing time, waiting for the killers to finish him off. Until this day, he actually survived for a whole 3 extra minutes, because after successfully escaping this time, he didn't go to the bar, but went to an underground arcade instead. Anton suddenly realized there might be a tracker installed in his body, which is why he wasn't found underground. This immediately made him think of his ex-wife, who was a physics doctor. Could she have done this? Anton immediately called to ask, only to hear the news that his ex-wife had just died. At the same time, the killers surrounded him again. At this moment, Anton finally understood. To break the time loop, he had to beat it in one life. After the next respawn, Anton fought back all the way, taking out the killers along the route. Then he came to the bar, and asked a friend who worked security, where on a person's body would be best to install a tracker. His friend told him it was the teeth. Anton immediately rushed into the bathroom, enduring the excruciating pain as he began pulling out his teeth. Sure enough, he found the tracker in a tooth. But before he could feel happy, the killer burst through the door. The 145th respawn, Anton used this tracker to lure the killers, wiping them all out in one fell swoop. And next, he needed to find the boss behind everything, and figure out the truth. He drove to the experimental base where his ex-wife worked, attempting to drive straight into it, and ended up dying in a car crash. Being able to respawn infinitely meant being this reckless. The second time, he didn't drive himself, but let the sports car fly directly into the base. Then he pressed the remote to detonate the bomb, clearing out everyone. But unexpectedly, one killer survived.
I can do this all day, Dick.
Forcing his way in wouldn't work. Anton had to try a different approach. He disguised himself as security personnel and successfully infiltrated the base, but was exposed in the elevator for not knowing how to swipe the card, and was ultimately subdued by security on the spot. After respawning again, Anton struck first, taking out the security in the elevator, but as soon as he walked out of the elevator, he was surrounded by a group of security guards. With no other choice, he had to start over again. The 5th respawn, Anton discovered the surveillance cameras. No wonder so many security guards were waiting for him. The 6th time, he disguised himself as the security from the elevator, and finally made it into the lobby. But unexpectedly, a killer with a sword was hiding here. Anton had a gun, so he wasn't panicking. But at the critical moment, the gun had no bullets. The next several times, Anton died at the hands of the swordsman, whose movements were extremely fast, and could even dodge bullets. Each time Anton was instantly defeated, until finally, Anton understood. With a gun, he simply couldn't win against him. So the next respawn, he found a mysterious sword master, to learn Chinese swordsmanship from her. At first Anton couldn't block even a single move, but he had unlimited chances to retry, respawning again and again, practicing again and again, until the 174th respawn. He finally defeated the master. Then Anton returned to the lobby once more. He put down his gun, and used the sword to face the final killer. The first time, he cut off the opponent's long hair. The second time, he could already block all attacks with one hand. The third time, he easily defeated his opponent. Finally, only the mysterious boss remained. But when Anton met the boss, the truth was finally revealed. All of this was his ex-wife's plan. It turned out the boss wanted to use the time machine to rule the world. After his ex-wife found out, she secretly modified the program. She set Anton's DNA as the activation condition for the time machine. As long as Anton died, time would restart. Her only purpose was to have Anton stop the boss. Anton immediately went to find his ex-wife, only to discover her body. She had died at 7:14 a.m., and the time Anton woke up every day was exactly 7 a.m. In other words, if he could complete everything within 14 minutes, perhaps he could still save his ex-wife, while completely escaping the time loop. Thinking of this, Anton didn't hesitate to choose to restart again. He began frantically researching speedrun strategies, but the fastest record still took half an hour. 14 minutes was almost impossible for him. Anton reflected on his past self, indulgent and evasive, leaving his child without care, and letting his wife die at the boss's hands. This time he didn't want to run away anymore. After respawning more than 30 additional times, he finally found the method. This time, Anton jumped straight onto a helicopter, forcing the pilot to fly directly to the base, taking only 5 minutes total. Then he used the machine gun to clear out the gathered killers, rushing all the way into the basement, taking out all the security. Finally, before the boss could make his move, he personally took him down. After dying more than 200 times, Anton finally saved his ex-wife. The time loop was completely broken.